Welcome to Christine Bailey's Faith Over Fear.
Good evening, everyone. Happy, beautiful Thursday. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. I want to give a big shout out to the person behind the scene that always makes this possible every week, Mr. Jason Wilson, to my LinkedIn family, my Facebook family, my Instagram, my YouTube family, and to anyone else who is out there listening tonight. I know you could be anywhere else, but thankfully you chose to be with us tonight. And boy, am I glad you did. I have a special guest tonight. So, guess what, you guys? You don't have to hear my big mouth all night long, maybe half of the night, but not all night long. So, this special guest that I cannot wait to be introduced, I am going to go ahead and we are going to roll his bio, and then he is going to join me on camera. Thank you.
Solomon Pratt is an executive health coach, certified glute specialist, and master trainer dedicated to helping women over 40 reclaim their energy, confidence, and discipline through structured wellness systems. He's the author of the Anti-Inflammatory Fitness Bible for Women and runs a private fitness coaching app designed to simplify healthy living for busy professionals.
Hello,
Hey,
Solomon.
Christine, thank you for having me. And Jason, thank you so much, sir. The man behind the scenes.
You are certainly welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for connecting with me and for us being able to
hmm
collaborate on tonight. And I am looking forward to this to be a long, friendly, good, faith driven relationship.
You are so welcome, and I'm so happy to be here, Christine.
You are certainly welcome, Solomon. So tell us, who is Mr. Solomon Pratt? I know we just heard your little short bio, but you give us the you give us the 100 on who
Okay, okay.
Solomon Pratt really is.
Yes, real talk. Okay, so Christine, so I'm a certified health coach and a master trainer, and I love to help women be the best version of themselves. In order for that to happen, they have to change their unhealthy habits, and they need somebody to tell them the truth and be able to point them in the right direction. So most people they think that they actually know what to do regarding their health and their fitness, but for the most part, most people do not know how to set proper goals. Set proper goals, and then my job as the coach and a trainer is to go and tell them the truth and see exactly where the person is and just make it more simple with a system that's personalized just for them. And I can make sure that a person do what they're supposed to do on my training app. So this is how I get the hold women accountable in real time with their eating, their macros, their calories, their lifestyle, doing their workout, because we're all busy and we all have things going on. But my thing is getting women to make their fitness a non-negotiable because they are so worth it.
That is awesome, Solomon. So tell me now, do
Mhm.
you work with certain age groups or all age groups of women?
Yeah, Christine, that's a great question, Christine. I can train anybody, but most of the women that I train are between 45 to 55.
Okay. Okay. So that means you could work with me, right?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. I know. Yep, I can make you better. So yeah, so definitely just when women have so much going on, especially around their age, they have like a lot of stress. They definitely need help with their stress management. Because I realized a long time ago, Christine, that me just being a personal trainer, I realized that that's not enough. Because for the most part, Christine, I realized that most of my clients, whenever they would just stop doing my program or they would just just stop responding, it's usually because they have something going on with their job or their relationship. So I realized that just being a trainer and being able to make personalized workouts is not enough. People really need help, especially the women around their age. They need help with somebody that can help them with their stress management, improve their sleep hygiene. They need somebody to help them with behavior change that can keep them consistent and can make sure that they do it. So my system and how I do it though, I can see in real time. I get to see their calories, their macros. I give them four different ways they can log their calories and macros, and I can see their steps. I can make sure that a person did their workout, and I can just help them be the best version of themselves and make sure that they do it to stay consistent. And that's when I realized that most women need help with that. Somebody to keep them grounded and to make sure that they do it. So usually people think of my training beforehand as just doing a Zoom workout, but it's really about me just being able to make sure a person do what they're supposed to do 24 hours a day.
Okay. So tell me this, Simon, what made you start this journey, this path of wanting to help women?
Yes, actually, man, Christine, that's a great point. Originally it started off. I say about I've been a trainer for 12 years. It started off originally. I was modeling, and modeling, I was working on trying to get signed by different agencies, the full agency, and then modeling is a very difficult job to make money in. So I said, okay, just I always did like fitness, and I always did love beautiful women and just women. Period. I said, my fact, I could be a coach. I get to help women and just even though I actually have trained men, but it's women for the most part, when it comes down to health and fitness, they're more coachable and they're willing to pay and pamper themselves by spending money on luxury services like health and fitness coaching. So I've been training women, and then women are like more coachable on that part. So they'll spend money on that, especially higher tier amounts of money.
Okay. Solomon, talk to us a little bit about your book that you have wrote.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. So the anti-inflammatory fitness Bible for women. So man, so with this book, I basically put in a lot of my knowledge about being a certified health coach. It would come down to helping a person with behavior change. A lot of times women have knee problems, back problems, they have that, and hip problems. So usually that comes from having weak glutes. A lot of times women are having different problems with their skin. They have different pains. So they're having so many issues. And the book is how I basically address different things, and also how I get to help a person. Even if a person cannot afford my services, I can go and still be able to help them through the book.
With I noticed in your book, and thank you again for blessing me with the digital format of your book.
You're so
And
welcome.
like we were speaking earlier about, I had skipped over some chapters, but all of the chapters in there are very important, and they
Hmm.
connect, they connect the dots. And I believe for most women, no
Hmm.
matter what color, and I'm going to even say no matter the age,
Hmm.
because every chapter I was able to connect a dot with every
Yes.
chapter. Now, the one that stood out to me at first was the sabotage.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's funny because I did not realize how much I was
Hmm.
self-sabotaging myself
Hmm.
until after I moved out of my parents' home.
Mm.
Because when I was at home, mom and dad always cooked good, and they always cooked
Hmm.
healthy meals. Me and
Hmm.
my dad both were diabetics, so
Hmm.
my mom would always cook very good meals for us, and then she would always get on to us about eating a lot of unhealthy foods,
Hmm.
especially drinking a lot of sodas. Me and my dad used to drink a lot of sodas. Uh, Not only that, unfortunately, my father was an alcoholic. Um, and so a lot came into play with me noticing how I had self sabotaged myself,
Hmm.
not until it was almost too late for me. Um, I had a heart attack.
Oh my God. So.
And when I had the heart attack, of course, I blamed it on a lot of things. But when I really sit and think about it, I always say that a lot of times we are our worst giant. And then there are other times where the enemy is our worst giant. But when I think about that also, we have to allow the enemy access. Because if we don't allow him access, then he can't do those things. So it wasn't the enemy that was making me eat all of those unhealthy foods, drink all of those sugary drinks. It wasn't him, it was me. I was self sabotaging my own body. Where the enemy came in at was he was playing with my mind, telling me it's okay. It's okay to have another soda after I already done had two or three of them. It's okay to have another one. It's okay. So, but in the bigger scope of it was I had self sabotaged my own body where I ended up having a heart attack and didn't even know that I had a heart attack.
Wow.
I had a heart attack on a Thursday. That Friday I went to work, I was perfectly fine. That Friday evening, everything hit me and I started to panic because I couldn't breathe. And I immediately texted my husband and said, 911, you need to come home. But by the grace of God, I'm still here as a living testimony what God is able to do, even in the midst of us self sabotaging our bodies. Because come to find out, I had 90% blockage.
Oh my God, 90%?
There is no way. I had 90% blockage on the right side of my heart. There is no way that I should still be here today. No
Oh
way.
my
The
God.
doctor told me it's not possible. But I knew that by the grace of God, it's possible because I'm here. So I want to thank you in advance for not only taking the time to write the book, but to educate us because we have to get out of our own way.
Wait.
I did not start appreciating my life until my life was almost taken. So, that's why I say at the end of every show, I say all lives matter because they do. I don't care if it's male or female, all lives matter. And so we can't just play off when we put bad things into our body
Exactly.
and think that nothing is going to happen because the end result is something will happen. I'm here to testify that something will happen if we don't get on top of it and stay on top of it. So I decided to make a life change for the better. So I lost the weight that I
Glory to
needed
God.
to lose. I've lost 89 pounds and
Wow.
I'm proud of that.
Uh-huh.
I'm proud of that because I started at over 200 pounds, and to be at the weight loss where I am now, it's by the grace of God because I decided that my life mattered. I, I didn't want to die before my time because I have seen friends and other ones go home long before their time just because they did not take care of their body. So
Exactly.
can you speak on that for a little bit, Solomon?
Yes. Oh my God,
Taking care
Christine.
of our body.
Yes, oh my God, Christine, thank you so much for sharing that story. That's a powerful testament. I say God wants you healthy and fit, and definitely wants you to procrastinate and put it off and make excuses. And definitely by you just being able to just take accountability for what you did wrong before and be able to see, man, I was doing this, I was doing that, though, and this almost cost me my life. And you to just make that total 360 change, that's just God all day. So God wants you healthy. Just like before we were talking about earlier, just like your body is the greatest gift from God. Your body is a gift made of meat and bone, and your body is a spirit that you have to go and use to carry you throughout this whole life. And just like I said earlier, there are two people that have to be riding with you at all times in the car that you're in. And the first one is the inner critic. So that's the person earlier that says, yeah, you can have 2 or 3 pops a day. That's okay. You can have more of that. You can have it. You can put it off. So the inner critic wants you to put it off and say you're so busy, you got so much going on, and the inner advocate is the person that's in the trunk and she's gagged, and you can barely hear the whisper of her voice. She's saying, "Christine, no, put that down. Christine, you had enough. Christine, this is not worth it. Christine, you have to prioritize your sleep. Christine, log your macros." So your inner advocate, that's the person that's in the trunk. But what people have to do is they have to go. I mean, they should take the inner advocate from the trunk and put her in the front. And then the inner critic, you should go and take her and put her in the trunk and gag her tight. Gag her very tight. And just like I also what you said earlier, a lot of times people talk about how the devil made them do it, but really, for the most part, most people, the problem is themselves, like you said earlier. They are running away from discipline, struggle, structure, and accountability. Those are 3 things that they're running away from, and then they blame it on the devil. So I want to thank you. So definitely, so women just have to just be accountable and be honest with yourself. And then by you just getting in the habit of say, okay, even though, okay, I don't want to do this though. Okay, perfect example. Okay, the devil wants you to do what you want to do. And God wants you to do things that you should do. Like, I should get this workout in. I should go and log my macros. I should go, and put this on my schedule. So you have to act more in terms of what you should do instead of what you feel like doing.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And another thing, Solomon, that I would love for us to
Mm-hmm.
speak on is the forgiveness. I say all the time, until we
Mm-hmm.
can forgive ourselves, forgiveness starts with ourselves first of all. Because until you're able to forgive yourself, you can't forgive anyone else. That's like saying
Exactly.
until you're able to love yourself, you can't
Mm-hmm.
love anyone else, because you can't put out something that you haven't even put into yourself.
Exactly.
And I know that forgiveness for me was hard in the beginning. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It was hard for
Mm-hmm.
me, because it was like, God, how do I forgive the people that have hurt me so bad? But God told me he wanted me to start with myself.
Exactly.
And the question that God asked me was, when was the last time that you forgave yourself? And it was like, I didn't even know that was a thing, you know? In all honesty, I never thought about forgiving myself. I always thought about forgiving others. But
Mm-hmm.
once the Holy Spirit started working on me with forgiving myself and holding myself accountable, and stop putting it on, whether it be, because at the time it was always my husband that I would always put it on. I would always blame him. But God made me look
Mm-hmm.
harder in the mirror at myself. And I have to tell you, Solomon, the first time I looked at myself in the mirror real hard, I didn't like what I seen. I did not
Mm-hmm.
like the person that I seen. But then God let me know that he could do a new thing in me, you know, but we had to start from somewhere. So being
Mm-hmm.
able to, number one, hold myself accountable, and number two, being able to forgive myself, then being able to forgive others just seemed like
Mm-hmm.
a breeze after I went through the process. But I must say that it is a process. It's not something that is going to happen overnight. And if you're expecting it to happen overnight, it's not going to. Because just
Mm-hmm.
like faith is a fight daily, it is a process. Everything
Mm-hmm.
is a process. So, could you speak on that for us, Solomon?
Yes, yes. So, Christine, like you said, a process though. One of the issues that a lot of times that people have is they get in a habit of telling themselves that they'll do something, but then they don't do it. So what happens is during that process, okay, so when a person says that I'll do something and then they don't do it, they believe in themselves a little bit less. A little bit less, a little bit less. Then, Christine, it gets to a point where they don't believe in themselves at all. And then they say, well, I'm just talking. I'm not going to do anything. So that's when it actually gets dangerous. So you have to go and just start by just doing what you say that you'll do. And then one of the ways you can do it to make it so much more easier for you, a lot of times people want to keep everything in their head. So I teach my clients and tell them is, okay, you should go and run your life through a system and a schedule. So I tell my clients, you should go and list out your daily tasks, for things for you to do, for you to eat your food at a certain time, for you to go and do your work at a certain time, for you to go and schedule your working, schedule everything and run your day according to the schedule. So I tell my clients to use a Google Calendar and to schedule out their different tasks, schedule out them drinking water, schedule everything out, and just run your life like that. And then that'll make it easy for you to go and stay on track. But you have to go and respect the process. And then here's the other thing. Basically, everything that takes time, dedication, sacrifice is going to be better for you in the long run. And almost everything that you get quick is right now, is fast. It's not going to be better for you in the long run. So people have to develop patience for the process and stop wanting to just to just take a cheat code. That I really the only cheat code, Christine, that it is, I would say, is just if you hire a mentor and then they can shorten the learning process. That's really the only shortcut that a person really could do. And one thing that I tell my clients about, the which I actually have in there, is I have my Solomon commandments and affirmations. So this also helps a person to be able to forgive themselves and for them to go and work on speaking things into motion, speaking things and doing what they say. So I'm gonna give you the first one. The first one says, I am committed to my health. So by a person saying this, and one thing that I do too, Christine, especially in the beginning, I have a client to be able to say this as one of their regular habits on my habit tracker. So they would have to check it off every day, and the goal would be for them to go and develop a winning streak of 15, 20 days. And then that would be just more better. And then the goal is the areas that they're weak on, that they're actually weak in, is to have them to get stronger. Like the second one, I choose to prioritize myself through consistency. So that's the number one problem that, Christine, that people have, is staying consistent. But to fix that problem, really, you got to find a strong enough reason to go and do it. So if it's something surface level, a lot of times you're not going to do it. And also the other thing is, a lot of times with people, especially in the Black community, they're used to thinking that fitness is just a short-term thing. Okay, I want to just get ready for this vacation or something, for 30 days. They don't, for the most part, look at it as, okay, this is a lifestyle. Just like our women, they would go and commit to their hairstylist or their loctician for years and years. If you're actually committed to a coach helping you that long, and then this person's holding you accountable, and then it definitely would change everything. But you have to see long term, and you have to make your fitness a non-negotiable, and you have to stop BSing yourself. You have to go and be honest with yourself and do what's required.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
always like to say, Solomon, that we need
Mm-hmm.
to speak life into our life. And that is something that I do every morning, is speak life
Mm-hmm.
into my life. no matter how I feel. And,
Mhm.
not every day is a good day, but I still speak life into my life because
Mhm.
we have to do that in order to thrive, in order to be positive about ourselves, because being negative is not good. And then when we do that,
Mhm.
that's how we get into the habit of, well, let me go to McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or someplace like that, instead of taking the time to, even if you have to plan out your
Yeah, that's the
meals
thing. That's the word, plan.
in advance, do
That's the
that.
secret.
Yes, that beats that quick drive-through thing
Yep.
at McDonald's, and it is so sad how a lot of our children are obese at a young
Mhm.
age because parents have gotten away from planning or from
Exactly.
cooking dinner.
Cooking.
Their quick fix is McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. And then you have a child that's 10 years old who is over 300 pounds. I seen that on my 600-pound life, and it broke my heart to see that baby struggling for breath. It seemed like every breath that he took was going to be his last breath, literally,
Wow, that's so scary.
trying to talk to the doctor. And the mother wanted to downplay it, and, well, I just don't have time. I'm too busy. But what about your child's life? We're talking about an innocent life here. We're not talking about your life. We're
Mhm.
talking about an innocent child who has no control
Exactly.
because you've made it that way. You've made it possible, and then he had to end up stop going to school and to be homeschooled
Oh,
because he was
wow.
being bullied by kids
Mhm.
so badly about his, not only his weight, but his body odor. Can you imagine that at 10? I
Oh my
can't
gosh.
imagine that. And so that's why I say it is so, so important that we educate not only ourselves, but our children. It is very, very important. It doesn't take long to plan a meal, even
That's the
if you
main
have
thing.
to plan it for the whole week. It even doesn't take you long to cook a nice dinner. Plan
Mhm.
it a day ahead of time. Get everything out a day ahead of time. I do, and it's just me and my husband.
Mhm.
But you know what? Because I decide to live healthy, it doesn't mean that I'm better than the next person, but it's because I love my life and I want to live
Mhm.
as long as God wants and says that I'm to be here. I
Mhm.
don't want to cut my life short because of me sabotaging.
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't want
word.
to do that. And we really, 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 really need to get away from all of these fast food places. They are not good, and they are literally killing people.
Mhm.
Literally. You know, uh, Now I very seldom do fast food. I don't even really care about fast food anymore. And
Mhm.
it is just so heartbreaking to see people that are so careless about their lives. You know, you may not be able to change things when you are a child, but when we become an adult,
Exactly.
hear me. We have choices when we become an adult. No one can make you put that food in your mouth from a fast food place.
Yeah, we have free will.
You do it because you want to. You do it because you become, I like my bishop uses this word lackadaisy. You become lazy. Let's just call
Exactly.
it what it is.
Yep, and
Let's
also
call it
too.
what it
Yep,
is.
yep, and Christine, I don't mean, yeah, and also Christine. This is the other thing that I realized too. A lot of times, the people are also addicted to food, so they have these food addictions, and a lot of times they eat when they're bored too. So I also teach my clients on how to be able to control the triggers, because that's really the most important thing. Even though I come from being a trainer for so long, now I see that it's more important when a person having more control over their habits and having systems and being able to control the trigger, especially when they're stressed out.
Yeah, because you have to be able to control those triggers, because if not, it can end in a deadly manner.
It, mm-hmm.
There was a young lady who was doing Dr. Now's program, and she got mad because she told Dr. Now she wasn't losing the weight. Well, it wasn't because his program wasn't working, it was because she was not working his program, because she
Mm-hmm.
was still doing the fast food thing. And he kept telling her, he said, if you get over 600 pounds, you are going to become bedridden. And at the age of 32, that young woman became bedridden. She had 3 beautiful children, and within a month, she was dead. We have to be willing to work the program. There's no need of me coming to you or anyone else if I am not willing to work the program. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it's my body. So I have to be willing to put my everything into it, my all into it, even on the days I don't feel like it. I get in
Mm-hmm.
there and I tell myself, nope, you need to do your 30-minute exercises. And I do them. I put my little music on and I
Uh-huh.
set my timer and I go for a full 30 minutes. And I tell you what, Solomon, it's the best feeling when I'm done. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I'm glad that I did that.
And you had time to yourself away from your
Yeah,
husband for a little while.
yeah, yeah. My husband is at work, and so I get off from there, and I have my QB, and I work hard at it. And water has become my best friend. you
Good.
know uh there was a time that I couldn't stand drinking water. I always wanted something with flavor, something with flavor. You
Oh.
don't need nothing with flavor. You need water. Water
Mm-hmm.
is what our body needs. And
Mm-hmm.
so my sister-in-law, she laughs at me now because we go to church, and so sometimes she'll say, we'll stop at the store and she'll say, sis, you want something to drink? And I'll say, yeah, you can get me a soda, and all I want is a taste of it. And she'll say, okay, sis, do you want a can or do you want the bottle? I said, oh no, I want the bottle. I want the bottle. So she'll come out, with the bottle. Solomon, it takes me almost 2 weeks to drink that soda.
Good. Good.
That is because I have gotten to that place where I don't need it. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times when I do have a taste for it. And so my sister-in-law laughed at me. She said, I don't know why you get
Mm-hmm.
this soda, because you're not going to drink it. It's going to take you almost 2 months, 2 weeks to almost a month to drink a bottled soda. But
Okay.
I'm glad to be in that headspace, because there was a time that I used to drink Dr. Peppers back to back to back
Yeah, 60
until,
grams of sugar. That's a lot.
my back would hurt me at the end of the night. My back was in so much pain from drinking so much soda. And you know
Oh my
what the
God.
end result of that was?
What?
Kidney failure.
Oh my God. So
Kidney
Christine,
failure.
that and also
So
Christine. Yep. Oh no, you can finish.
I have been in kidney failure for 5 years, but I am glad to say that my numbers have not increased. And over these past 5 years that I've had to go onto dialysis. And my kidney doctor is in awe
Hmm.
because he's like, how? How is this possible? Your
You change the
numbers,
habits. Yep.
your numbers are still the same. And I said, by the grace of God, because let me tell you this, Solomon, right quick. I don't believe anything is possible without God.
Hmm.
God has to be a part of it. If God is not a part of it, I don't care what it is, diet, exercise, marriage, whatever it is, if God
Hmm.
is not a part of it, it will not work.
Hmm. I can see that
It
though. So
won't
yeah,
work.
so I'm with you. It helps. It helps. It helps. But the person also has to be willing to put the work in. It's like they said. It says faith without works is dead. So
True.
God still wants you to do your part. And speaking of sodas, I'm gonna give you a tip. So uh, I'll say the easiest way is to find foods that are healthy that's good for you. So instead of having soda, they have this drink that I love. It's called Poppy. So it's a Poppy drink, and it has only 20 grams sorry, it has only 20 calories. 20 calories and only 5 grams of sugar. And it has
Uh,
vinegar. It tastes delicious. So, yes, and that's actually good for you. So, you can have items like that. So, they have healthy options that you can have besides soda that taste delicious.
Now, does
Have you heard of
that come
Poppy?
in different flavors? I've
Yes,
heard
oh
of
my
it.
God. Yes, yes, it has all kind of flavors. It has the I have it around me. No, I had it around me. They have the they have root beer. I had that recently. They have a strawberry, lemon lime. They have all the flavors, and it has
Okay.
only 20 grams of I'm sorry, 20 calories. 20 calories and only 5 grams of sugar. So that one I love. The other one you can have is it's something called Bai drinks, BAI, and that has only like 10 calories. So when a person drinks sodas, those sodas be having 150 calories, 200
Yeah.
calories, 50 grams of sugar. So you could just swap out unhealthy foods for foods that's healthy. I'll give you a perfect example. I got this right here in arm reach. This is my favorite protein bar. This is by a company called Lenny and Larry. So this is their big protein bar. So this has 24 grams of protein and also the fiber. What fiber it had about? Let's see. The fiber it had about 10 grams. Let's see fiber. Oh yes, it has 10 grams of fiber and it has 12 grams of sugar. So this is amazing. So I actually been having it for breakfast. This with my plant-based protein shake for the last 2 years. So one thing that fit people do is number one, fit people track their macros and calories daily. So that's number one. That's the main thing that they do. The second thing that they do is they stick to a system of eating the same foods that taste good to them that's in line but not being able to accomplish their goals. So those are the two things that they do that changes everything. So a person got to pick a side. Do you want to pick the side of the people that are healthy and fit and they're living longer and their body feels and looks amazing, or do you want to pick the side of the people that they're unhealthy, they eat whatever they want, and the food controls them. But you got to pick a side. So whenever you're eating a meal, you're casting a vote for one of those two sides.
That is so so true, and you know what? I've noticed that too, Solomon. Because
Mm-hmm.
even with the snacks, I don't
Mm-hmm.
do the regular snacks anymore. I do the
Mm-hmm.
healthy snacks
Yes.
from a company called Melaleuca.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Uh, yeah, and it's kind of like a big Walmart that you can shop online, and all of their products are health products. And so I've got addicted to these what do you call them? They're kind of like, they're not potato chips. Oh, they're vegetable chips. They're vegetable
Okay.
chips. And I love them because they have like it has like peas, carrots, oh, but they're
Okay.
called veggie chips though.
Oh yeah,
And
I had
they
those. Those
are
are great
yeah,
too.
they are absolutely delicious. And I am more conscious of what I put into my body now. And
Hmm.
so I find myself even when we go grocery shopping now that I'm looking on the back of labels
Good.
and
Uh
stuff,
huh.
and I used to didn't do that, but now I do it, I do it all the
Great.
time. And the great thing about it
Uh
now
huh.
is that even my husband loves it. And so it's like, well, hey, I can't lose, we're win-win because
Uh huh.
actually both of us have lost weight and we feel better, you know. And so
I love that.
it's yeah, it's just amazing. It's just amazing, especially when you have someone alongside you uh to kind of get you going,
Yes, it
uh
helps.
my husband has always been small framed. And so when I first started this journey, I asked him, I said, now, do you want me to cook your food separate than how I cook? He said, no, I want you to cook my food the way that you're cooking your
Okay.
food. And
Good.
so
Good. So that's so lovely.
it was unbelievable, and for the first month he was on that diet with me. And so we came back from the East Coast and we came home and he said,
Hmm.
I quit. And I said, what do
Okay.
you
He
mean you
quit
quit?
what?
He quit the diet. He quit the diet.
Uh oh.
He
He
said,
lasted
I
only
quit.
a month.
He said, I'm gonna support you. He said, but I gotta have my snacks. He said, I gotta have my he said, I can't do them vegetable straw things that you eat. And he said, I gotta have my real potato chips and my real ice cream. He said, but I'll get you what you want, but
Hmm.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay.
So,
Oh man. Well, at least you tried. Oh yeah. Also, Christine, I got a tip for you and your husband, and also everybody who's watching the show. I'm gonna give you all something that it can help you with your journey.
okay.
Okay, so it's an app you can use that is free. It's called the Yuka app. And have you ever heard of that before, Christina?
No.
Okay, so since we're all family now on the show, I'm gonna give you all this. So with the Yuka app, you can go and scan a barcode of different items, and then it's gonna rate it on a scale from 0 to 100. And then so if it's over 50, it'll be healthy for you. And then if it's something that's under that's really bad, it'll tell you why. So if it has some type of harmful ingredients in it, it'll tell you why. And then the app also gives you healthy options of foods that you can have. So if it's something that it got a 200, I'm sorry, it got a 20 out of 100, it will tell you healthy versions of the food that you can get. Yes,
Been out. I've been needing this app in my life about 10 years ago.
yeah. So well, I mean, so this that's me give you that. So it's called Yuka, Yuka.
I'm sure gonna get it because yeah,
So
yep,
yeah,
that'll
so
help me
I
a
wanted
lot.
to give you that. So yeah, I wanted to give you that tip to help you.
Thank you, Solomon. I appreciate that, my friend. I
Yeah,
sure
so
do.
it's great. It's great because also it's also super Christine. Usually the issue is most of the foods in the grocery stores are unhealthy. Unfortunately, so that's one of the other reasons why people are overweight. Most of the food is unhealthy.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, because really these companies want you to be unhealthy. Just like unfortunately, a lot of
they
times
don't care.
doctors, doctors don't want you to be fit because then because they can't tell you the truth that they want to only treat the symptom. So that then you have to go and buy medication. So for the most part, they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to just only just treat the symptom.
Solomon, I've been on both sides of that as far as doctors go. I was under
Hmm.
a doctor who I was explaining to her about signs and symptoms that I was having, and
Hmm.
at the end of it, come to find
Mhm.
out she was more about the money than me, the
Yeah,
patient. So
exactly.
I had common sense. I used my five senses and I found me another doctor. And I
Good.
still say to this day that this is the one that God put in my path, because the doctor that I have now has been on this journey with me uh for quite a few years now.
Hmm.
She is also a believer, and I think that made a big difference on how she and I connected, because
Hmm.
our goal was to get me completely off of insulin. I had
Beautiful.
been diabetic since 1989. So I had been on insulin since 89. And she
Wow.
said, Christine, she said, that is way too long for a person to be on insulin. She
Hmm.
said, and we are going to get you off of insulin.
Man, that's a really good doctor. So
So
that's rare.
I am here to tell you that as of 2 months ago, I went from taking up to 3 shots in the daytime to 1 shot at bedtime to now taking 1 shot a week.
Wow. Congratulations. Wow. So that's
Thank you.
beautiful.
You know, so that was a journey. That
Hmm.
was indeed a journey, but it was worth it because she done it in a safe and healthy way.
Hmm.
And then that's also how the weight loss came in as well. And so, we have to be careful when we go to these doctors, because we know our bodies better than they do. And so if your body is not doing right or feeling some sort of way, and that doctor is not noticing that, or the other doctor wanted to try to just use me as a guinea pig and try different
Exactly.
medications. And I said, no, I'm nobody's guinea pig. No, you're
Hmm.
not gonna just put me on all these different medications and not knowing whether it's gonna work or not. No, I'm not doing that. And so we need to be mindful of that, when we're under these doctors' care. Please use your common sense as well.
Hmm.
We have to be able to do that. you know um
I
Solomon, we
totally
are
agree.
going we are going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come right back. You guys hold on, don't go anywhere. Thank you. Christine Bailey's Faith Over Fear. This is a call to action. Need prayer? You do not have to go through this alone. God is able to do the impossible. He can heal, deliver, and restore. You can reach out to me at Christine at theunshakablefaith.com. Again, my email is Christine at theunshakablefaith.com. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. We're back. So, Solomon, I want you to tell us where we can find your book, how we can find your book, everything we need to know about
Hmm.
how to find Solomon Pratt.
Yes, okay, Christine. So once again, thank you again for having me. I love your show. So you all can get my book on Amazon and also my website. So I have two different versions. This is my regular version that's on Amazon. So this is the regular one, and I have a premium version on my website. So this one has a better quality paper. It's just yeah, I have one better ink. So this is my premium one that I have on my website, solomonsfitnessworld.com. So you get it over there, and you all can fill out my application. You can fill it out there, And yes, but definitely, you have to go and just invest in yourself. And I also make fitness products too. I make ankle bands, which are really good for walking. So this is really good for toning the stomach, building up the glutes. You could just walk with it. You will open it up like this, and you would just put it on your ankles and walk with it. Really good for doing glute activation exercises, donkey kicks. I got power bands. So I have a Scoop Herb bundle, and that's also from solomonsfitnessworld.com. And also my YouTube is Solomon's Fitness World. So yes, you can fill out my application. We're going to also leave my application in the description too.
Great, great. Now, Solomon, are we able to subscribe to like your YouTube and all of
Yes.
that good stuff as well?
Yes. So on YouTube it's Solomon's Fitness World. And also I'm also on LinkedIn as Solomon Pratt, and also Solomon's Fitness World over there too. And Facebook, Solomon Pratt.
Okay. Okay. Well, we will most definitely be looking. And once again, I just want to thank you so much for wanting to join me on tonight. And so now this was just, it wasn't your first invite. So be looking forward to me asking you to come back
Yes,
again,
totally.
please. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. Yeah, I had a blast, and everybody remember, you are not your past, you are not your pain, you are loved, and you are so worth it. And God wants you healthy and fit. So you have to go and make your fitness a non-negotiable. Just like how you prioritize going to the concerts, going there, going on vacation. The only way it's going to work is your fitness has to be a non-negotiable. That's the only way it's going to work.
Amen. Well, you
Mm-hmm.
guys, I hope you have enjoyed Solomon as much as I have, because I have truly enjoyed Solomon and all of his information and education that he has given us on tonight. Just remember that we are here to give hope, to bless, and to inspire others. And please remember that all lives matter. No matter where you come from, no matter the color of your skin, all lives matter. Until next Thursday, you guys, have a safe and blessed weekend. Good night.
I see y'all.
Thanks for watching Christine Bailey's Faith Over Fear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next week.